Aloha and shalom. We're here for the first quarter activation. So let's get ready. First quarter is the second part of the cycle here, the lunar cycle. Last week we had the new moon and we had an eclipse as well. So it was very powerful energy. It was a powerful initiation that we all walked through. And now here we are 1 week after the event. How are we all doing? Just fixing y'all up here. How are we all doing? Well, let me know in the comments. And also let me know in the comments where in the world you're tuning in from. I'm tuning in from the Verde Valley, Arizona. Okay, so how are y'all doing in between eclipses right now? Because we're going to have another eclipse for the full moon on March 3rd. So we're right in between the two. And from what I'm experiencing and from what I'm witnessing, there's a lot of huge transformation, big tower energy, turn of events that are surprising, shocking, mysterious, exciting, a lot of authentic fire coming out of the collective. Everybody's really feeling the fire, the passion, the energy behind being one's most authentic self. And that could look like many different things, but for some of us, it looks like relationships firing up to the next level. It looks like relationships ending, and this is with friendships, this is with lovers, this is bringing up tension with family members. It's relationships in general, including the relationship you have with yourself, which is everything, because the self is one and everything is relationship. So while I'm shuffling, just let me know in the comments where you're tuning in from. We're here for the first quarter activation, so we're going to see where we are in between these eclipses and 1 week after the new moon to kind of see what work we've been getting into, what surprises we've been finding ourselves in, surprising situations. Let me go ahead and shuffle the Hebrew deck. Looks like this. Okay, giving thanks in advance for this message that's about to come through. Thank you, archetypes, faces of the one. We are ready to receive the message for the week. Feel free to share this video now while we're live with someone you may know who is looking for some guidance, looking for some support on their path, or maybe you want to wait till the end and share the recording with them. If they're not on Facebook, this recording, as usual, will go to YouTube and Instagram, Rebecca Magic. Just give it some time when the video is done. Get them in the portal. Okay, giving thanks in advance for this message, this map of information, codes, symbols that's about to come through to help us at this part of the cycle to move forward with the most grace and ease with the cards that were dealt. Beginning with the challenge and gift, also known as the focus. What we're stepping away from, more of like what was last week, and now we're ready to move into this week. And why we're going through this right now. Then, as usual, a main Hebrew letter to represent the ally energy of the week. Okay, let's go. Beginning with the challenge and gift. Ace of Wands. So speaking of fire, there it is. Just as I said a moment ago, the collective is really experiencing this fiery passion that's igniting our authenticity into expression. Okay, aces are initiations within the element that's pulled. And of course, you have to know that whatever the element is, you want to consider that first, but then you want to consider every element, no matter what element you're actually pulling. Because what happens in one dimension affects every dimension, elementally and beyond. So the aces are initiations within that element. And so we're going to start with talking about how it's an initiation within the realm of fire, because wands represents fire, which also represents spirit. So think creativity, passion, purpose, fire. Okay, so the aces are these initiations, meaning when you pull an ace, depending on the element, it's saying you're stepping into an initiation within this realm, okay, within the realm of fire, which has to do with your spirit, your creativity, your passion, your purpose. You're going into a new lesson within that dimension. And what you do in this space is going to affect the whole, the collective. So remember, although it may seem very personal, your life is an altar. Your life is the microcosm for the macrocosm. So if you remember that as you move through this initiation, as you move through each step of it, with that remembrance that you're connected to the collective, and that's what this work is really for, then you can move through differently with more support, connected to a source of power that is beyond your own limited, personal source of power, because you'll be connected to the one. Okay, so when, for example, if you go through an initiation or a lesson in the realm of fire, spirit, having to do with your passion, creativity, purpose, all those things, you have to know that you're affecting that archetype and fire itself, that element itself, within all of creation. And remember, as I said, then you affect all the other dimensions. So you have to take it there, okay? This is a very Aquarian, big picture way of thinking. You have to understand that, you have to understand the profundity and the power that the effects of your life have on the whole. Okay, so it's like you're learning this lesson for the whole, meaning you're going to affect the whole dimension of fire, the whole dimension of collective creativity, and beyond, because then that's going to affect collective emotions. That's going to affect collective mentality. That's going to affect collective physicality. So it's like, it's not only for your small life, it's for our one life, and not only in one elemental dimension, but in all. This dimension of fire is simply the access point into that big healing for the one. And the key is in your hand right now. Okay, so Ace of Wands right now as the challenge and gift, also known as the focus. What does that mean? It means there's a fire burning in you. Pay attention to where your fire lights up. As always, so important to do the alchemist's true work of redefining the elements constantly, realigning with your true definition of each of the elements as they exist in your own reflection. Okay, so like now that you pulled this, it's good to remember, what do I subconsciously believe fire is? What is the definition of fire that I've accepted into my programming? And how can I, the me in this moment who's evolved each moment to get here, how can I refine, redefine the fire element in general and just kind of brush up that program in my consciousness so that I can reconnect to fire in all of its forms, including within myself and all around me, from this sharper place, from this more in tune and connected place. So always the elemental work first. And this is how you work smarter, not harder, right? Because everything is made of the elements. We're living in an elemental field. And I don't mean the physical elements, I mean the physical and beyond, their multidimensional nature. So when you work with them, you work with the all in a way that is most proficient. It's like putting your best foot forward, right? It's like nature's designed to do the most with the least amount of energy. It's like a natural law of conservation, right? So we want to mirror that. We want to mirror that. So do the elemental work, reconnect with fire first and foremost, and then do that with all of the elements, okay? So from that place of reconnecting to your definition of fire, as it exists within you and all around you, then you want to pay attention. Now you're attuned to that element. Now, if you're really paying attention and being the observer and remaining present, you will feel and sense that element's presence rising up within you or around you, maybe in someone else, maybe in an environment, a certain land you visit, whatever. And your detector is going to go off and you're going to go, okay, there it is. There's the fire. There it is in a passionate expression of mine or another. There it is coming out in my creative endeavors. There it is coming out in my anger. There it is coming out in my excitement, right? And so just attuning to that fire and then observing how you play with it, how you either consciously or unconsciously express it, and stepping into your power as the alchemist to control it, to manipulate it. That's not a bad thing. Everything is energy manipulation. Everything is energy. So you have to learn how to manipulate it for the highest good. So first step is redefining the fire, tuning into it, paying attention to where it is, and then from there, taking the wheel and moderating that the way that the fire is expressing. Okay, and if this is the gift right now, you have to understand, if you really want to have that inspiration behind this work, then you really got to understand what you're doing here when you go through this process of attuning to fire and manipulating it for the highest good. What you are doing is so profound. What you are doing is the deepest work that we came here to do as elemental alchemists. When you temper the fire, and when you temper the elements, you bring yourself into balance and you bring all things into balance. In fact, when we put anything to work for the highest good, it works to maintain that homeostasis within the one. It works to maintain that balance. So right now we're specifically working with this fire initiation, okay? So we're feeling really passionate. Pay attention to where that passion is, whether it's in you or in another. We are one, doesn't matter. Work on connecting it all. The other is you, okay? So just work on seeing where the fire is expressing and work with that. Tame it, moderate it. And each time you do, you're going to get more insight. Each time you moderate that fire, your elements come more into balance. And from that place of balance, space is created, openness, receptivity. And so more light will come in, which often looks like information, realizations, downloads. Okay, many ancient texts, sacred texts, scrolls talk about the key of being in balance and being in a state of gratitude, a state of loving kindness, in order to open up to higher information. So as you temper your fire, right, you bring it into a state of balance. It expresses as compassion, because when the elements are in a state of balance, each one expresses as that compassion, because together they make up the light of compassion. All of the elements, when they are combined, make up compassion, the light of compassion, okay? So when you are doing that elemental work to come into balance, your expression looks like compassion. You become a compassionate expression. And in that space, you are open and receptive to the light of God, the source of all creation. And in that openness, again, you receive the downloads, you will receive guidance, and you will know what to do each step of the way. Your work is simply to continue bringing yourself into balance. And right now, that really looks like playing with the fire, moderating the fire element. And then as other elements need to be adjusted, whatever work needs to come up, it will. All you need to do is temper the fire. And it will continue each time you do that to bring you into a state of balance where new information will come in and guide you. Okay, so how we can create space. That's good. We have the Six of Swords. Swords is the suit of challenges. 5 is like right when you're in the middle of it. And the 6s are when you're moving to the other side, okay? And this one is literally about moving to the other side. It's about a rite of passage. You could see there's troubled waters, but they're moving on to smoother waters now. Okay, and there's a man, a woman, and a child. Remember, all of these symbols in the cards are you. Okay, so they're all different aspects of you. So we're rowing all of those parts to the other side. So how we can make space to do this energy is by going through this first. And what that looks like is this. It looks like really leaving behind the angers, the irritations, the anxieties, and the fears that you developed over the last year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years-ish, okay? So I'm talking about a few years of pent up stuff. And even that can be a reflection of things much deeper, much older. And it doesn't matter when, okay? Because time is not a concern in the realm of the archetypes. It's simply about leaving behind those things to create space. So before, it might have been harder to leave those irritations behind or those triggers because there's still a lot of emotion around it. There's still a lot of hurt around it. But now that you see there are new opportunities, new information wants to reach you, prayers are waiting to be answered, it's a little bit easier to say, you know what? I'll leave that old life behind. You know what? I'm willing to let go of that grudge. I'm willing to not be so bothered by that thing, because when that thing comes up as a bother or as a trigger, it comes up as the fire out of control, right? So what's going to happen is you're going to start to recognize now and become aware of these opportunities. So that fire is going to come up in you and you're going to go, oh, and you're going to recognize, oh, old trigger. It's not worth it. What's more important to me right now is tempering this fire, calming myself down, alchemizing that fire from a space of darkness, negativity, triggered, into a space of inspired and excited for the new information that's going to come in to fill that space. Once I clear it out of that old stuff, it doesn't even really matter. Okay, so there's a bridge being created each time you take that opportunity to temper the fire. It's not just like, oh, I'm just going to leave all my bags behind and be ready to receive the light. No, you access that with this bridge that is being paved each time you take on those opportunities. Okay, so you want to be on the other side. You want to be in this new chapter of life. And the way that you're going to get there is step by step, opportunity by opportunity. Meaning the opportunity is looking like a raging fire in you, a passionate fire in you, an intense fire in you. And each time you choose to stay present, recognize that fire, knowing what it is. Now you have a greater and deeper capacity to access that fire, to temper it as the alchemist that you are, and to go, this fire can keep burning me and everything around me, or I can tame it, transform it, perform the alchemy I came here to perform, and be inspired and excited about the space that I'm going to create when I let this thing go. Why we're going through this? Yeah, that's right. Queen of Swords. She's the heart of the challenge. Okay? And this is going to confirm what we said a moment ago. It's going to reinforce what we said a moment ago about, when you have the emotions. Queens are the water, the heart, the feelings, the emotions. When that's all wrapped up around the challenge, it can be hard to let go of the trigger. When you don't have the inspiration, when you don't have the knowing, the faith that something better is waiting for you, it can be easier to choose to remain entangled by those feelings that are keeping you trapped in an old chapter, in an old reality. Now, so that we can, bear with me here, I'm in and out of service. We're going through this right now so that we can get to the heart of the matter and really alchemize things from there, from the root, so that we can go to the center. Okay, the queens are the center, the heart of the situation. So that we can go there and actually transform it from within. Okay, so when we go through this process of rowing ourselves to the other side by accessing each opportunity to use our fire in a new way, use our fire to inspire and not burn, we're going to be doing it with love, with care, with truth. Okay, because the heart, the queen, represents that truth, that love, light, truth, they're all synonyms, they're all one. Okay, so we're going to be doing it in a very, we have the opportunity to do it in a very authentic, loving, compassionate, and honest way. Because we're not just bypassing here. We're really facing each opportunity. When that fire comes up, we're really feeling it. And we're not just trying to dismiss it or brush it under the rug, because we know. I'm just going to hold this because this is so important. We have to stay connected here and get this out. Okay, so we know, where did we leave off? Right here. That we can't just brush things under the rug, right? We know that there's no just bypassing it. And so, oh, let me get the right ones here. So we know that we have to actually alchemize the situation each time that fire comes up and we're really feeling it. Again, there's no brushing it under the rug. There's one of two choices. Either you explode in that fiery expression that keeps you trapped in your last chapter, or you recognize the fire, you temper it, and you transform it to be a fire that inspires, okay? So in this process, there's no hiding. It has to be 100% authentic. There's no cutting corners. You can't. So we're going through this so that we heal it from the heart, from the center of the matter. So a message that comes with that is you don't have to worry that you're going to get hurt or someone's going to get hurt or something's going to go wrong, okay? Follow your heart. When that fire comes up to be transformed, you'll know what to do. You will be guided. So you don't have to worry about things going wrong or someone getting hurt. You have to trust in, as always, the divine unfolding, the divine timing of things. Be open to the mystery. Even if right now you have no idea how you're going to get from A to B, you are getting there. And I know you feel it. I know you feel the new on the horizon. I know you feel it, not even on the horizon. You feel it right there. You're about to step into it. So don't worry so much about how am I going to get there? That's the funny thing that these archetypes are telling us right now, is that it might look a little like, I don't know, like I can feel I'm rowing to the other side, but I'm still not really sure of what I'm stepping into. But it doesn't matter. Just conjure the excitement. Understand that whatever you're leaving behind, whatever you're rowing away from, is going to leave a big space to be filled. So what do you want it to be filled with? The key is in tempering your fire. When you feel fiery, passionate about something, and it comes up, look at what is there and look at how that fire is becoming a tool for you to transform and leave behind. The sage, also known as the hermit, what is that telling us right now? It's saying just trust in the path, okay? 9 is right before the 10, the wheel. The hermit is starting to understand, while looking at reality from a distance in solitude, is starting to understand, wow, this is my purpose in the bigger scheme of things, in the great wheel of life, right? So that's how we go from the hermit to the wheel. So if we're channeling this energy this week, and this is our ally, it's saying, oh my gosh, you guys, I'm just so over this. Okay, let's just wrap it up. So the hermit says, trust in the path, trust in your journey, trust in your purpose. It's saying you might have gotten a little too caught up in the personal details of your reality lately. It's time to reconnect to the collective. It's time to reconnect to your purpose, and it's time to reconnect to your trust. Because there is a divine pattern back of all things. So start acting like you know it. Start acting like you are it. Okay? I'll leave you with that. And if you want a one-on-one reading, or if you have questions about ordering the mini tarot decks, the mini custom decks that I have, or you want to purchase my books, Royal Path 1, 2, or 3, or you want to access my video classes on occult symbolism of the major arcanum, please reach out to me, royalpathreadings@gmail.com, royalpathreadings@gmail.com. So do this work, temper the fire, and know that each moment you do that, whether the opportunity seems big or small, doesn't matter. Each time you're setting a stone that's creating a bridge to get you from your old reality to the new. Don't worry about how you're getting from A to B. It is happening each time you just focus on tempering your fire, tempering your elements, coming into balance again and again, so that you open up a space of receptivity to divine guidance, which step by step is going to get you into your new life. We are in between eclipses right now. If you're feeling really in between worlds, it's perfect. I'll see you on the other side.